So what would you say to someone who might be maybe on the edge of possibly getting a bigger promotion or moving
Mhm.
into a career that pays more money than that they've obviously been operating at?
As you do get those promotions, your lifestyle, generally speaking, at some point shouldn't be changing that much. It's hard for you because your kids are young, and as they get older, they require less care from you, but the things they do cost more. That's for
Mhm.
sure. That's
Yeah.
not inflation. That's just, you know, playing soccer and buying the soccer uniforms and going to, I have people whose kids, they do really well in sports or whatever their activity, and the next thing you know, they're getting on an airplane or taking a weekend and staying in hotels far away, and that's not what they're doing when they're 2 and 3. So, that's part of it. So I think you have to look at those things and say, when my kids are little and I'm paying daycare, when they're 5 or 6 and I'm no longer paying daycare, what am I going to do with that money? That's where a journal, I think, can be really helpful. This is something I can manage and afford to pay now. And when they're not in daycare anymore, all of a sudden I've got an extra, thousand. I've seen people are spending $2,500, on a couple of kids in daycare. So that's a sum of money that, give it in a journal or in a goal, or if you're writing down your goals, give that a purpose. So you can't save it today, but you can start saving it 5 years from now. I know you're expecting another one. So it's like 5 years from now that they're on their way to school. So that's where that could come into play. In my case, I'm about to pay my last tuition bill, as I said. So I've been doing it. I've got 3 kids, and
Mhm.
I only had 1 year where I had a break in that span. So that's money I shouldn't be spending just because. That should be going into my bigger savings goal for me. Or if there was something I really was missing out on that I think I can manage, but I shouldn't be doing until I knew this day was coming. I knew that I'd be writing this last check. So next fall, I should be writing a check to myself rather than just letting the money kind of filter around. And it'll, like I said, it'll find a purpose. If you liked our conversation today and you think setting goals and journaling your financial plan makes sense, go to goodfinancial.com and we'll get you started.